In the vast expanse of the ocean, a hidden world lay beneath the depths, a realm largely unexplored and shrouded in mystery. It was here, in the remote waters of the Pacific, that a remarkable discovery was made, thanks to the keen eyes of a curious observer using Google Earth. An amateur explorer with an insatiable curiosity for the unknown found himself engrossed in the satellite imagery of Google Earth. He spent countless hours navigating the virtual globe, seeking hidden treasures and anomalies that would ignite his sense of wonder. As he pored over the imagery of the Pacific Ocean, his gaze fixated on a remote section, far from any human settlement. An enormous object caught his attention. He described it as a massive structure nestled on the ocean floor, its size and shape defying explanation. Intrigued, he couldn't shake the feeling that he had stumbled upon something truly significant. He decided to share it on social media so others could look at it. Driven by his curiosity, he wanted to know what this strange object was and how it was able to change direction on the ocean floor. According to him, the object that can be seen at the end of the trail looks to be in the shape of a pyramid. He said that the mysterious structure doesn't match anything else in the area and wanted to post it online so that others could put forward their own theories for what they thought it could be. The user who found it said that the possibilities seemed endless, suggesting that it could have been an ancient temple, an underwater city, or evidence of an advanced civilization predating recorded history. As of right now, he's said that it's important to note that pyramids have been uncovered all over the world and caused him to suggest that there could be pyramids submerged at the bottom of the ocean. The scale of discoveries made in recent years by scientists has completely transformed the way we view our oceans, so we should remain receptive to the potential of marine exploration. In the watery depths, entire civilizations have been lost over time, leaving behind awe-inspiring constructions on par with cutting-edge modern engineering. Denying the accomplishments of past generations is unfair, and until we have explored all the uncharted ocean territories, it is quite feasible that large structures could be lurking beneath the waves. As noted, it is intriguing to see what appears to be a large object at the end of what appears to be an artificial track. It is noteworthy that those who have viewed the images have observed that the areas surrounding the structure appear to be blurred, indicating that an organization may have intentionally done this to obscure details about it. It is widely known that certain organizations alter photographs prior to their public release. It has been acknowledged that specific regions on Google Earth have been obscured due to security concerns. Certain locations may not be visible to the public eye, as they are restricted areas that authorities have deemed off-limits. Consequently, these areas are obscured with intentional blurring or black boxes to prevent any further disclosure of details. This may refer to sites that are restricted from public access, such as government establishments. The query that arises is what the intention is behind obscuring something in the ocean, and why numerous uncanny objects feature blurred markings. As of right now, various theories have been put forward to explain what these objects are, including artificial structures, monuments that have been lost to the waves, and giant pyramids. There's countless interesting ocean discoveries that are being made each year, and one of these are underwater supervolcanoes. An underwater supervolcano is an awe-inspiring force of nature, capable of unleashing immense power and causing widespread devastation. While the eruption of a supervolcano on land is well documented and understood, the eruption of such a volcano beneath the ocean's surface presents its own unique set of challenges and potential consequences. Imagining the scenario of an underwater supervolcano eruption allows us to explore the potential impacts on the marine environment and human populations. Firstly, an underwater supervolcano eruption would release an enormous amount of magma, gases, and volcanic ash into the surrounding water column. The sudden discharge of molten rock and gases would generate intense heat, leading to the formation of superheated plumes and steam explosions. These powerful eruptions would create a turbulent and hazardous environment for marine life. The immediate impact on marine ecosystems would be devastating. The release of volcanic ash and gases, such as sulfur dioxide, would lead to acidification of the surrounding waters. This change in pH levels would have profound effects on the delicate balance of marine organisms, particularly those with calcareous shells or skeletons, such as corals and shellfish. The acidification would disrupt their ability to build and maintain their protective structures, leading to widespread mortality and ecological imbalance. Furthermore, the rapid injection of volcanic material into the ocean would cause a sudden increase in water temperature. This rise in temperature would create thermal stress, potentially causing mass bleaching of coral reefs and the death of other sensitive marine organisms. The subsequent decline in biodiversity could have cascading effects throughout the food chain, impacting the abundance and distribution of marine species. The eruption of an underwater supervolcano would also release large quantities of volcanic ash into the atmosphere. Unlike ash from land-based eruptions, which can settle relatively close to the source, ash from underwater eruptions would disperse over vast distances, carried by ocean currents and atmospheric winds. This ash can pose a significant threat to human health, as fine particulate matter can cause respiratory problems, visibility issues, and potential air traffic disruptions. In addition to the immediate effects on marine ecosystems and human health, an underwater supervolcano eruption would have broader environmental consequences. The release of gases, including sulfur dioxide, into the atmosphere would lead to the formation of aerosols and sulfuric acid clouds. These clouds would reflect sunlight back into space, resulting in a temporary cooling effect on the Earth's surface. This phenomenon, known as volcanic winter, can lead to a decrease in global temperatures and altered weather patterns. The long-term effects of an underwater supervolcano eruption on climate would depend on the scale and duration of the eruption. Large-scale eruptions have the potential to inject significant amounts of sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere, which can persist for months or even years. The resulting cooling effect could disrupt agricultural practices, leading to crop failures and food shortages. Changes in precipitation patterns could also impact water resources and alter the distribution of ecosystems worldwide. Societal impacts would be significant in the aftermath of an underwater supervolcano eruption. Coastal communities located near the eruption site would face immediate dangers, including tsunamis generated by the displacement of water and potential pyroclastic flows. The destruction of marine habitats and fisheries could have severe economic consequences for communities dependent on ocean resources. International cooperation and preparedness would be essential to mitigate the impacts of an underwater supervolcano eruption. Monitoring systems capable of detecting precursory signs of volcanic activity would be critical for issuing timely warnings and evacuating vulnerable populations. Collaborative efforts in disaster response, scientific research, and the development of resilient strategies would be crucial to address the complex challenges posed by such an event. The ocean, covering approximately 71% of the Earth's surface, is a vast and mysterious realm that holds countless wonders waiting to be discovered. Despite centuries of exploration and scientific advancements, much of the ocean remains unexplored, hiding secrets and surprises in its depths. Understanding the extent of unexplored areas is a complex task, but current knowledge and ongoing research suggest that a significant portion of the ocean remains unknown to us. One of the key factors contributing to the ocean's unexplored nature is its immense size. The ocean encompasses 5 major basins: the Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, Southern, and Arctic Oceans. Each of these basins is vast, with depths ranging from a few meters in coastal areas to several kilometers in the open ocean. The combined area of these basins, including their numerous underwater mountain ranges, trenches, and abyssal plains, presents an enormous challenge for comprehensive exploration. Furthermore, the ocean's extreme depths pose significant technological and logistical hurdles. The pressure and darkness in the deep sea demand specialized equipment and vehicles capable of withstanding tremendous pressures and providing adequate lighting for observation. Deep-sea exploration requires submersibles, remotely operated vehicles, and autonomous underwater vehicles to access and study the abyssal depths, where conditions are harsh and environments are largely unexplored. To date, the majority of human exploration has focused on the relatively shallow coastal areas and continental shelves. These regions are more accessible and provide valuable resources for human populations, such as fisheries and mineral deposits. However, as the depth increases beyond the continental shelves into the abyssal plains and trenches, the challenges multiply, and our knowledge becomes progressively limited. The Mariana Trench, located in the western Pacific Ocean, is a prime example of an unexplored region. It is the deepest part of the world's oceans, reaching depths of over 10,900 meters, or 35,800 feet. In addition to depth, the ocean's vastness and remoteness further contribute to its unexplored nature. Large areas, such as the Southern Ocean surrounding Antarctica, remain largely inaccessible due to extreme weather conditions, sea ice, and isolation. These regions present formidable challenges to researchers and limit opportunities for extensive exploration. Advancements in technology have allowed scientists to explore the ocean more extensively in recent years. Sophisticated sonar systems, satellite imaging, and improved underwater robotics have enhanced our ability to map the seafloor and gather data remotely. However, these technologies are limited in their capacity to provide detailed information about specific habitats, ecosystems, and the myriad species that inhabit them. During normal conditions in the Pacific Ocean, trade winds blow west along the equator, taking warm water from South America towards Asia. To replace that warm water, cold water rises from the depths in a process called upwelling. El Nino and La Niña are two opposing climate patterns that break these normal conditions. Scientists call these phenomena the El Nino Southern Oscillation Cycle. El Nino and La Niña can both have global impacts on weather, wildfires, ecosystems, and economies. Episodes of El Nino and La Niña typically last 9 to 12 months, but can sometimes last for years. El Nino and La Niña events occur every 2 to 7 years on average, but they don't occur on a regular schedule. Generally, El Nino occurs more frequently than La Niña. In El Nino, the strength of the trade winds diminishes, causing warm water to move towards the west coast of the Americas. El Nino, which translates to little boy in Spanish, was initially observed by South American fishermen during the 1600s when they noticed stretches of abnormally warm water in the Pacific Ocean. These occurrences were referred to as El Niño de Navidad, as it usually reaches its maximum during December. El Niño can have a substantial impact on weather patterns. As a result of the warming of waters, the Pacific jet stream deviates from its usual position towards the south. This change brings about drier and warmer than average conditions in the northern areas of the United States and Canada, while the US Gulf Coast and Southeast experiences more rainfall than normal, resulting in increased incidents of flooding. El Niño has a significant impact on marine life along the Pacific coast. Typically, upwelling draws water from the depths to the surface, providing nutrient-rich cold water. However, during El Niño, upwelling weakens or ceases altogether, resulting in fewer phytoplankton off the coast. This affects the food chain as fish consume phytoplankton, causing a ripple effect on everything that feeds on fish. Warm waters during El Niño also change the dynamics of the ecosystem by bringing in tropical species like yellowtail and albacore tuna that do not usually inhabit colder areas. One of the most significant impacts of El Niño is on weather patterns. During El Niño, there is often a shift in the location and intensity of rainfall around the world. This can lead to droughts in some areas and flooding in others. In the United States, it can bring heavy rain and flooding to California, while causing droughts in other parts of the country. The impact of El Niño on weather patterns can have severe consequences for agriculture and food security. Droughts can lead to crop failures and food shortages, while flooding can damage crops and lead to the loss of livestock. In some cases, the impact it can have on agriculture can even lead to famine in affected regions. As mentioned, El Niño can also have a significant impact on marine ecosystems. The warming of the ocean surface can cause changes in water temperature and circulation, which can have ripple effects throughout the food chain. This can lead to the expiration of marine organisms, including fish and coral reefs, and disrupt entire marine ecosystems. The impact on marine ecosystems can also have significant economic consequences. Fisheries can be disrupted or damaged, leading to the loss of jobs and income for those who depend on them. And El Niño can also lead to an increase in harmful algal blooms, which can be toxic to both marine life and humans, causing illness. In addition to the impact on weather patterns and marine ecosystems, El Niño can also have significant impacts on human health. During El Niño years, There is often an increase in the incidence of diseases such as malaria and dengue fever, which are spread by mosquitoes that thrive in warm and wet conditions. It can also lead to an increase in air pollution, as the warm and stagnant weather conditions can trap pollutants close to the ground. This can exacerbate respiratory problems, especially for people who already have underlying health issues, such as asthma. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has said that El Niño is a natural occurrence that can have significant negative impacts on the environment, economy, and human health. The impact of El Niño on weather patterns can lead to droughts, flooding, and crop failures, which can have severe consequences for agriculture and food security. One way to mitigate the impact of El Niño is through early warning systems and preparedness measures. Governments and communities can work together to develop and implement early warning systems that can alert people to potential El Niño events and take steps to prepare for the impact on weather patterns, agriculture, and human health. Flooding is a major natural disaster that affects the United States every year, causing extensive damage to infrastructure, homes, and businesses. According to estimates, the cost of flooding in the United States is significant, and it continues to rise each year. One of the primary factors contributing to the high cost of flooding in the United States is the sheer frequency of floods. In recent years, there has been an increase in the number of flooding events across the country, with many areas experiencing flooding that is more severe than in the past. In addition to the frequency of floods, the cost of flooding is also driven by the amount of damage that floods cause. Flooding can damage homes and businesses, destroy infrastructure such as roads and bridges, and even threaten lives. The cost of repairing and rebuilding after a flood can be substantial, with estimates ranging from tens of thousands to millions of dollars. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the cost of flooding in the United States has been steadily rising in recent years. In 2020, there were 22 separate billion-dollar weather and climate disasters, which included flooding events across the country. The total cost of these events was estimated to be over $100 billion, with flooding accounting for a significant portion of the damage. One of the most costly floods in recent history was Hurricane Harvey, which hit Texas in 2017. The storm caused widespread flooding, with some areas receiving more than 50 inches of rain. The total cost of the damage caused by Hurricane Harvey was estimated to be around $125 billion, making it one of the costliest natural disasters in US history. The cost of flooding is not just limited to the immediate aftermath of a flood event. There are also long-term costs associated with flooding, such as the cost of rebuilding damaged infrastructure and the cost of dealing with the ongoing impact of flood damage on communities. So, what do you make of El Niño and how it could drastically affect the environment and infrastructure? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.